Okay, so for today, super easy. I'm going to show you a demo on how to draw faces. But essentially the rules are really, really simple. You want to break the face down into chunks. And of course, if you look at different faces, everybody's face looks completely different. However, we're all human and there are rules to how our bone structure works. So if you look at my face, right, I'm going to do a drawing overlay. You're going to see that we have the oval. All right, so I'm going to do the oval. And then you're going to see that my hair, kind of, if I were to flatten it, if I were to flatten my hair like this, right, you're going to see that my hair, when natural, it comes up and over like a good inch over my actual skull, right? So I'll let you... And then you're going to see that if I were to divide my oval in half, my eyes are actually right on the half line. And one of the biggest mistakes that people who are new to this do is they put the eyes like up here. And you'll see what I mean when you start doing this, because you're going to feel weird putting your eyes at the middle of the face, but that's where they go. So essentially what you want to start with is you want to start with an oval, and then you want to split it in half this way, and then you want to split it in half this way, because most of us are pretty symmetrical. We're all symmetrical, but some more than others. So you want to split and then this way, okay? So what you actually want to start with on any drawing of a face is an oval that's split into quadrants, right? So hopefully you guys are taking math and paying attention. Quadrants just means equally divided by 4, okay? Now, if you look at my eyes right now, you're going to see that you can measure the eyes 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and 4. Right, so I'll draw it out. Right, you're going to draw one eye, and then a second eye, and there's a space in the middle between the two of them that is equal to this. Can you guys see that? Isn't that crazy? So your eye is actually measured out 3 times right here. And then most people, of course, it depends on how fat or how skinny you are or how your face is shaped or whatever, but you're going to have about half an eye's width between the edge of your face and the edge of your eye. So if you were to measure it all together, you're going to have 4 eyes across. All right, so once you have your oval measured, right, you're going to have the halfway point here, right? And then between this halfway point and your chin, right, because this is your chin, so I'll label it. This is your chin, this is where your eye level is. Right halfway between those is your nose, right? So you're going to put a little dash right here. That's going to be your nose. And again, I am going to show you all of this on pencil and paper. This is just so you can kind of see the map. So exactly halfway between your eyes and your chin is your nose, okay? And then you're going to measure one more time. Between your nose and your chin, you're going to have your lip line right there. And again, everybody's face is slightly different. However, like Picasso said, you must learn the rules to break them. And everybody's face has their unique qualities, and that's what makes them them. But generally, you follow this rule, your faces are going to look more human and less whatever else they're looking like. Then you're going to measure from the eyes to the top of the head, okay? And then right in the middle, you're going to put a little mark. That's nothing. That's like no man's land. Between your eye line and no man's land, you're going to have your eyebrows. Again, generally, some people's eyebrows are higher, some people are lower, but generally, that's kind of where you want to ballpark them. And then between this no man's land and the top of your head, you're going to divide again, and that's going to be your hairline. Now, I have a really big forehead, so my hairline is actually a little farther back. Some people's are further down. Again, it has to do with your character, but generally. Okay, so I got myself a little egg. So you're going to see we have the quadrants, right? We have the eyes. And it's really cool because if you do this, eat the egg afterwards because, don't waste it. But if you turn it up, it like makes the proportions for you. And so now you can draw any face from any angle. And I'm going to prove to you that this actually is a thing. But you're going to see that you can build. So we have midline is the eyes. And then between the eyes and the chin, which is all the way down here, we have the nose line. Between the nose line and the chin, we have the lip line. Okay, and then between the eye line and the top of the head, we have no man's land, which is that guy right there. And then between no man's land and the eye line, we have eyebrows. And then between no man's land and the top of the head, we have hairline. So if I were to like, my pen is completely dead. Oh my gosh, it's because it's wet. Oh, so annoying. Anyway, you get the idea, right? Because now I can turn Mr. Egghead in any direction and it still applies. So let's move into how this works. Don't mind my hands that are covered in burn marks because I am definitely learning how to cook right now. So I'm going to draw down here. Let me get this all centered. So we're going to start with an oval. Now, I'm not going to draw with reference right now because at this point I don't really need to, but you guys should always draw with reference, especially in the beginning when you're learning. So you want to get yourself a nice kind of general egg shape. Then we're going to split it right down the middle. And if you're at home, by the way, and I'm moving too fast, there's like a button right around here in your window in YouTube that you can slow this down. So if you go to playback speed, you can put it at 1.5 if you want, if I'm going too slow, or you can go a little slower and go 0.75 or something, whatever floats your boat. Cool. So separate into quadrants. That's the first step. Okay, you got your egg shape, separate into quadrants. Now you want to figure out 4 eye shapes, and I'm drawing pretty light at this point, across the center of your eyes. Now, if you remember this from my video, hopefully you'll recognize this, right? So we measured out 1, 2, 3, 3.5, and then 4. So there's 4 eyeballs total across your face. Now, again, people are always different, blah, 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 but generally this is kind of the run-of-the-mill humanoid creature. This is how a human face is built. So I'm going to do here eye line, chin line. I'll just put scalp. You guys all know what scalp is, right? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now, once I measure between the eye line and the chin line, right in the middle here, and if you need to use a ruler, or you can just eyeball it. But I'm finding that some of you who eyeball don't eyeball very well. So if you find that it's all kind of messy, just either use your pen and figure out where the midpoint is, use something so you can get the center point correctly. In fact, I think mine is a little bit low. Use a ruler if you're insecure. So here we have nose, okay? And then between, so we have this here, and then between the nose and the chin, right here, we have the lip line. Okay, and then between the eye line and top of the head, we have here, so this is, again, equidistant. Right here we have no man's land, which is an important marker because between no man's land and the eye line, we have eyebrows. And between no man's land and the scalp, we have hairline. Okay. This is the map. Burn it into your brains. If you remember the egg, Mr. Egg, you want to burn that into your brains. Mr. Egg, or Mrs. Egg, or whatever, same concept. Okay? Literally the same concept. Let's start building. Okay? So, I know that eyeballs are actually round. So I'm going to round out these eyeballs. Did you guys know that your eyeballs right now are the same size now that they were when you were born? And they're going to be the same size when you die. It's just, your eyeballs don't really change. The balls themselves, they don't change. Then you have your eyelids that come over like this. Okay? So if you were to look at a face, you're going to see that no eye is like Homer Simpson. Okay. And now you want to start kind of darkening that sort of almond shape. And now if you want to come back in here with an eraser and start cleaning up, you can. So I'll do a little cleanup. Now, at this point, you guys can start messing with the size of your irises. It depends on your character. Children tend to have bigger eyes. Innocent characters tend to have bigger irises, and scarier, like Jafar characters, tend to have tiny irises. But generally, you're not going to see a lot of this, like, unless the character is really surprised, you're not going to see that. Usually, the iris is going to be partially covered by the eyelid. So it gives your humanoid kind of a nice, softer feeling. Cool. Now, for noses. Okay, people usually freak out about noses. Let's not freak out about the nose. Let's do it nice and calm. Hopefully, again, you're looking at reference, but you're going to notice that if you feel your own nose, the deepest part of your nose are your nostrils, right? So I'm going to do nostril on this side, nostril on that side. And I do kind of like this apostrophe shape because typically you have like that sort of deep part here, right? And then it's connected in the middle by something called, I think it's called the columella, I'm not sure. And then you're going to do two little C shapes on this side and this side. And that's all you need for a nose, really. If you really want to, you could lightly do kind of a bridge thing right here, but you don't want to get carried away. People get real creative with noses and do all kinds of weird stuff. Just draw what you see. And typically what you see, and I'll do it again. Typically what you see on noses are the nostrils. Really important. You're going to see kind of like a connecting thing. And then you're going to see two little shapes like that. That's typically all you're going to see. Okay. Now, if you wanted to get fancy, you could connect this over here and then sort of shade this in. I like to do that because it gives your nose some dimension, but again, you don't have to do that. The important things are nostril, nostril, columella right here, and then these two kind of like wing shapes on the side. That's going to give your nose shape. And again, the base of it is this line right here, which is between, it's right between the eye line and the chin line. Okay. Now let's move on to lips. This is your lip line right here. Now I have big lips, so I tend to draw big lips, but essentially you're going to do kind of like it goes up, flattens, and then down. Okay. That's the simplest. Now again, because I have big lips, I tend to do kind of meatier lips like this. And then the bottom lip is going to kind of be right below it. And you want to give as little information as possible because you don't want to overwhelm your drawing, right? So the darkest parts are going to be the parts that have the most shadow, where the light is hitting the least. And then the corners here, because the corners tend to be the deepest into your face, I'm going to give those lots of shading, less shading in the middle, and then more shading on the edges. And then bottom lip, same thing, because the corners are the closest into your head. They're going to get the most amount of shading. And again, there's not a lot of information. It's just, it's tricking your eye into reading depth, right? Depth where there really isn't. Sweet. Now, again, the depth, maybe I can give a little color here to the iris. Typically it's darker on top because the eyelid sort of shades it. Awesome. Sweet. Let's throw on some eyelids because, you know, we're not weirdos. We have eyelids, both top and bottom. Let's do some eyebrows. So big bushy eyebrows are in. So the eyebrows are going to be right here because I labeled it for myself. Fabulous. And typically eyebrows start a little bit before the inner edge of the eye. So, you know, unless you are in the early 2000s where you have eyebrows that are like, eh, which you can do, that's fine, no judgment. It's not really what you see these days. And by the way, all this applies to more masculine faces as well, and I will get to that in just a second. So typically in female faces, the eyes may feel a little bigger, but really what matters now is the face shape. So right now we have the chin down here, right? So we kind of pre-measured that. If you're going to do a man, typically the jawline is going to be a lot wider out. They're not going to have maybe as full lips, even though there are men with really full lips. They're going to have this little like muscle right here. They're going to have maybe deeper cheekbones. They're going to have really, really thick necks. So that's how you kind of approach a man. A man is going to have, again, wider jawline, thicker neck, this little whatever. For women, and I'm going to do her as a female because that's what I kind of started with. For women, again, keeping that chin line there, it's going to be a little softer. A little gentler slope here. And on your ears, you can feel. So if you like if you put your hands on the outer edge of your eyeballs, like I'm doing right now, if you put your hands on the outer edge of your eyeballs and then you sort of feel, you're going to land right near the tops of your ears. So I do ears kind of like nothing special, just there are the ears. Of course, some people have lower ears or higher ears, whatever. You figure out what works for you, but generally the outer edge of the eye line meets right in this area right here, where the ear is almost at the top. So I just put it right above. Because she is a woman, and again, this could be a dude, you know, whatever, but her neck is gonna kind of, it's not gonna come right on the edge of the jaw, it's gonna be a little bit low. Sweet. Okay, let's talk about hair. Oh my gosh, I migrated over. Top of the scalp. You never want to have the hair growing right on top of the scalp. That's weird and it does not feel natural. You want to find no man's land, which we marked before, right there. You want to find no man's land, and then you want to find the top of the scalp, which is where we marked before, and then here is this sort of like golden whatever. So before I cut my hair, I had kind of this like swoop thing. And you want to think about hair like a solid shape, right? So if she has sort of long hair, I'm going to kind of measure out the shape first. And this applies to dude's hair as well, you know, no difference there. It's going to be short instead of long. And, you know, you want to measure the hair kind of in chunks. And there's really not too much craziness that goes through here. And that's kind of, there it is. Your human face. And then you can come back here and add lashes or whatever makes you happy. Earrings. Ta-da! So, again, Mr. Egg, okay? And I'm going to show you again. But if you grab Mr. Egg now, you can draw your character in any angle, which is awesome. So, let's do some exercises. So we're going to do an oval here, right? So here's the midline. So the eye is going to be here and here. Nose is here, lip line is here, chin is there, right? Eyebrows, ears, and know that the human head actually comes back pretty far, but you can build that later. And then, you know, the hair is going to be built however it's built. And then if you were to do like a downward shot, her chin is kind of intense. If you were to do a downward shot, we're going to grab the egg. And remember, you guys, nothing ever beats just putting your pencil on paper and practicing. I have students sometimes ask me, "Oh, Miss V, what's the shortcut to learning how to draw? What's the fastest way to learn how to produce video? How do how do I start animating in a weekend?" Well, you have to like it, first of all. So I really, really like drawing a lot. I draw all the time. So again, I'm going to measure between this and this. Here's the nose. Here's the lips. And then the eyelids. So let's have her looking up. So I like to draw. I'm drawing all the time. And so that makes it so when I'm practicing, which is all the time, I'm really enjoying myself. So anyone that wants to learn how to do this kind of thing has to sort of like it and do it. I'm using an egg right now, people. Typically your hair kind of like... Anyway, you get the idea. Mr. X says, practice makes perfect. Enjoy, you guys. Shoot me an email, Discord me, GChat me, Gmail me, Google Hangouts, Google Meets. Have an excellent day, and I will see you guys soon.